Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 2 of Invictus Gaming versus VG Gaming Potential right around the corner. I know I said polar. I said I was going to do it. It's hard. Aces polar, it's just ingrained in my memory. Anytime I see a PO, polar is the word that comes to mind. Potential. VG Gaming Potential. An interesting game one. IG dominating about what you would expect. A pretty one-sided game, but hey, VG Gaming Potential put up a decent fight. Their Drill Ranger pick didn't really work out so well, but, well, we'll see if they can switch it up this go-around. Let's go ahead and take a look at the draft here, see what these teams are working on. And, well, we see some familiar faces. It was IG that got first pick here in this second game. They will grab the Storm Spirit to get things started. VG Gaming Potential strike back with a Shadow Fiend Vengeful Spirit. All right, a little bit of minus armor action. Some Roshan control. You're on the Radiant side, but that's okay. They'll be able to take out Roshan nice and easy. Invictus Gaming do something interesting here. Second pick, the Ancient Apparition. You don't see this too often. You really don't. But maybe the beginnings of a good team fight lineup where they go for like a Faceless Void, maybe like a Luo Void, and then put Burning on some kind of a ranged carry perhaps. The Troll Warlord's been banned out, as has the Sniper. And there you'll see that Wisp Quap banned again from VG Gaming Potential. Now, IG, what do they ban out here? The Bat Rider as well as the Red Man Axe and Potential. They take out the Brood, and their fourth ban, maybe on a Burning Hero here. I would imagine the Jug. I think IG will absolutely third or fourth pick the Juggernaut if VG Potential don't take it straight away. If they leave it in the pool. And there it is. They ban out the Earthshaker and pick the Jug. I like this from VG.P. I think the Earthshaker, probably something that IG would have considered also. Great to protect the Storm Spirit before he finds level 6. Also great synergy with the Ancient Apparition. Blocking somebody into a little nook and cranny is a great way to secure a Cold Feet proc. And instead, they go with the Lion. I think IG will be pretty happy with that. Chuan Lion, once again, it will be Faith there on the Ancient Apparition. The Chuan Lion, man, kept my pool together in the last game, so we'll see if he can do it again. He was like 2, 2, and 12. The most assists by far. Really looking pretty strong there. Here you go, Rattle Trap Clockwork. That'll be your off-laner for VG Gaming Potential. And IG, man, these picks going fast. Neither side using any reserve time. Not even giving us a moment to think here. Lycanthrope picked up. That'll be your Burning Hero this game. And I think, right? Or is it 430 that plays the Lycan mid, and then Burning will take the Storm safely? And it could be that as well. A little bit of flexibility there, but very interchangeable. No matter how they want to do it, who wants to play what. An interesting mix of heroes. You've got Lycan, who can be your front liner, a lot of pushing prowess, the Storm to back him up, and you've still got a good bit of control. You've got your Vortex, got everything Lion brings to the table, then Frosty there for the extra damage. Howl mixed with that Chilling Touch, a lot of great synergy there in your laning phase. That'll make things a lot easier for IG across the board. Now final bans coming out. Skywrath Mage, the 5th ban for Invictus Gaming, and Tidehunter, banned out by VG Gaming Potential. Tide could work okay for IG here. I could see it. More just limiting the off-lane options. I think the Brood ban makes some sense. They will need another support, okay, and they take the Phoenix. So caw again. And this time it'll be VG Gaming that try it. It was Yames last go-around, and I guess he'll try again. He'll have another go. VG Gaming Potato. Now Invictus Gaming, final pick. Ooh, what do you want here for Luo? Could be an okay Centaur game if they want some more Blink initiation. He played Darkseer last go-around. Who else did we say that he's been playing recently? Let's see. The offlane Morphling could be an option, I suppose. Beastmaster, definitely an option. Elder Titan, Wind Ranger, 2 heroes you don't see too much, but could be something he wants to take to the offlane here. Maybe more commonly, Tide Bat, all banned out. Bristleback, also an option. I don't know. That's about it. Axe, is he still in the pool here? Nope, he's been banned. So somewhat limited here. He's going to have to take something atypical. Maybe outside of that comfort zone a little bit. What are you taking, Luo? I don't know. I think a Beastmaster would be really good here. Have a stun to cut through the Jug spin, lock down the Shadow Fiend when he gets BKB. Gives your team the attack speed aura against Phoenix. Dire side, he can easily stack the Ancients, clear those out to recover. Should have a pretty good offlane experience anyhow. I really think the Beastmaster is a good pick here. But they go with the offlane Morphling. Okay. This is exciting. Definitely up there with the options. Luo Morphling. I'm pumped. I like it. Now, the Strength Morphling, I have to admit, I'm a little hit or miss with it. It's amazing, and that's part of the reason I don't like it. It's almost too good. It is actually ridiculous. Get your Tranquil Boots, get yourself a Soul Ring, and that's all you need. Level 5, this Morphling can move around and start finding kills. Level 7, forget about it. You got 4.5 seconds, 4.25 second stuns coming at you left and right, and that'll make for easy follow-ups from the Lion, the Ancient Apparition. I mean, you know how much damage a Storm Spirit can do in 4 seconds when you're just sitting there stunned out by a stupid adaptive strike? Should be pretty good. The other great thing about Morphling as more of a utility hero in the off lane is that the Replicate becomes great for split pushing. You can pull creep waves. You can do a lot of fun stuff with it. You can steal auras from the other side, so if they go for, I think you can get the presence of the Dark Lord, stuff like that. A couple of cute things you can do there. So I like this final pick from IG. Although IG, the heavy favorites here, again, 91% on Dota 2 Lounge, I do think this draft is a little bit stronger and just easier to execute with. Burning, he'll be on the Lycan. 430, he'll take the Storm Spirit mid. That puts Faith on the Ancient Apparition. Chuan back on his Lion 2 games in a row. And Luo. Pardon me. Luo in the off-lane Morphling. We'll see him go Strength, I think. No doubt about that. Oh, VG Gaming potential. Oh, look at this. 4-hero smoke. It'll be dogfights on the Vengeful Spirit. SSS. He's their carry player, I think. XLL on Vulcan. He'll be there in the safe lane. The smoke gets broken from the high ground. Great positioning from Burning. And this is one of the reasons you don't see smokes into the Radiant jungle this way very often, because it is easy to break and stay safe. So that's a smoke down and a minor victory for IG out of the gate. Yames, he'll be here on his Phoenix once again. We'll see how he fares in the off lane. And Yang, or pardon me, he'll be the off laner here on Clockwork. And we'll see how Yames does here on support. Looks like he does have some sentries and observers all ready to rock and roll. Initial wards coming down. Dire will use theirs to get vision of the top rune, and one inside the little entryway into the jungle here to give some vision for their off laner.
The battle begins.
Make things a little easier for the Morphling. The Morphling doesn't have to worry about farming too much, really just leeching XP. He'll be able to find enough gold for Tranquils and your Soul Ring pretty damn fast. Ring of Protection already picked up, so makes his laning stage a little easier. 430, how's he going to do here against the Secret Shadow Fiend? Last game, we saw this matchup, but the other way around. So now we'll get to see the mirror matchup, but flip-flop to see who really is the stronger player. We saw 430 have a slow start last time against the Shadow Fiend, like we mentioned. That's to be expected. Shadow Fiend starting off with an extra set of tangos already, a bit nervous here against this this tried-and-true Storm player in the mid. I think Ferrari should have a pretty easy time this go-around, though. Shadow Fiend not going to have supports to back him up, and he should be able to box him out pretty effectively. Already 1 and 2 against the 0-0 SF, who does level raise promptly into level 2. Supports will be down bottom to try and zone out the Morphling. And Phoenix, Venge, not really your ideal defensive duo. Not an Earthshaker, a Dazzle Alliance, someone that can easily break up a fight or disengage if they dive you. Venge, she works okay, but with a single target stun, can sometimes not be enough. So we'll keep an eye on the mid lane. Checking in up top, IG will do the same thing. A 3-1-1 with 3 in their safe lane. Ancient Apparition doing the double pull through here, and Chuan on zoning duty, trying to keep Yang out of the lane. Generally speaking, Clockwork, one of the harder off-laners to just completely box out and stop him from getting experience, mostly because he can mess around with the creep equilibrium here with the power cogs. Looks like he hasn't really done it all too much yet. Leeches a little bit of XP from the potato-tomato duo. Luo will do the same here against the double pull-through. He finds his level 2, and Clockwork actually still sitting at level 1. Looks like Chuan and Faith did a pretty good job harassing him back. Chuan heads out for the 2-minute rune. Dogfights will go bottom. What do we got here? Morphling will make a move also. He is level 2, so he does have Morph as well as Waveform. Bounty picked up by the Venge. And Chuan will camp out a Haste Rune. We'll see if Ferrari picks it up. Nope. Doesn't have the bottle yet. Instead, it goes to the Lion. So yet another tool to try and zone out this Clockwork, who did finally ding level 2. Pretty straightforward laning phase. Mid lane now leveling out a little bit. Ferrari with an edge, but Secret closing the gap. The big disparity this game is the safe lane farmer for VG.P potential. SSS was completely zoned out last game by the aggro try. He was 0-3 in the first couple minutes. Here at least his jug is farming. 14-0, number 2 on CS. And doing pretty well, all things considered. Luo trading blows with James and doing a lot of damage there. Chuan comes back up top, connects with an Earth Spike. They've got the Chilling Touch, but doesn't use the Hex. Happy just to zone out the Clockwork for now, not really looking for a kill. So this is at least a little more even. Jug gonna get a lot more done than the Drow Ranger last go-around. Lycan just racking up the CS. What does Burning go for here in terms of farm? Luo down bottom. Could this be your first blood? He can start morphing. He has the waveform to the low ground, and James actually mans up on this. He will start morphing strength. Luo on the run. This could still be your first blood. Fire Spirits will do decent damage over time. He pops the healing salve. Luo will live through it. Nicely played by the morph, knowing his limits, and pulling a lot of pressure here from the Phoenix. He does have to chew through a salve, which I guess is a little bit unfortunate. We'll pick up his boots back home. Still doing pretty well in this offlane morph lane. Clockwork actually getting even less experience in the morph lane. Both offlaners struggling so much. The difference, though, morph lane can do a lot more with less. Clockwork can't really do anything until level 6. He at least needs his hookshot before he can start moving around and finding kills. And if those initial hookshots don't yield kills, if he ends up dying, he'll just quickly fall behind. The morphling, all he really needs is level 5 and a soul ring. And then he can just throw out adaptives left and right. He will TP right into the tower down bottom. Luo not afraid of much here. Dog fights as well as SSS, trying to man up on him. Phase boots route on the jug. Level 1 Blade Fury. There is a magic missile, but being pretty defensive so far. Luo pulling pressure off the tower, handling this push with elegance and grace. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Yang about to get sandwiched. Chuan knows he's lingering nearby somewhere. They don't quite have vision of him, but they are going to pressure this tower pretty hard. Oh, he's right there, but Yang has a nice spot in the trees. We'll keep toggling the vision to see when they want to go for it. How used by the Lycan, they get the vision. Wolves trap him in the tree line here after a stun from Chuan. Cogs come out, but it doesn't matter. First blood drawn by Burning. There you go, the Wolves. They'll have the damage to make it happen. Now they'll turn and look to finish off this tier 1 tower. TP rotation from the Phoenix. James, what are you going to do? He's just got a GG branch and some sentries. He can scout out the Wolves, but that's about it. Tower now getting tanked by Burning. He needs to be a little careful here, in an awkward position as a TP from Yang comes in. Now Chuan's here as well. 430 will fall somewhere else on the map as we're watching this, and it looks like mid lane he dives and gets punished. Kill does go the way of the tower, and, well, sorry we missed that one, but we did catch the action up top. First blood for Burning, though, I think well worth it. An IG, well, they'll jump forward, then jump back. They don't finish off the tower, and losing their mid certainly does hurt. Atypical 430 to fall that early on. Looks like the Venge stun, not something that he put into his calculations. All right. So Morphlane now getting a little space as the supports have had to move around. Juggernaut still farming very well. But as we've talked about a couple times here, Morphlane just needs to leech XP. And already level 4 has the Tranquils up. That's half the battle. Faith, level 4 on the Ancient Apparition. Of course, level 6, a milestone on this hero always. Still looking for XP. Same for Chuan. He's only 3. How are the Radiant supports doing? I don't think much better. 4 on the Venge and 3 on the Phoenix. So still even on that front with the Jug being... Pardon me, not the Jug. The Clockwork being kind of the weak link. 430 is now level 6, going for this standard build with no point in Vortex. Bottle, brown boots for now. Shadow Fiend, just a Keela brown boots bottle on him. Although his CS has gotten a lot better. Here we go. They set up on Ferrari. They almost find the kill, but ball lightning away at the last second. Nice attempt from VG.P Potential. That's the way to do it. Stun into a set of raises. But the Storm Spirit lives. Now back towards the top lane. Looks like they will press into the tower once more. Wrap around from Faith. Is he going to get the ward on the high ground? He will. Now we can take a look at Dire Vision, and we'll have a general idea of what's going on. They see purple, and they know that teal is lingering nearby. Will they actually go for the wraparound play, though, onto the Clockwork? He does have level 2 Rocket Flare, and Cogs at the ready. Thought Ferrari might get ganked in the mid lane here again. Power Cogs on cooldown. All right, uses them a little prematurely. Now they will just go into the tower. If they can dive this, they will. Chuan with the Hex. Chilling Touch. The wraparound from Faith is there in Clockwork in the grave. The tower goes down to the Lycan. SSS TP's in, but it may be to his grave. Oh my. Too aggressive with the positioning. He will run away. Wolves will chase him down. One more hit from the Wolf. Oh, it's going to be close, but the Wolf dies to the tower. Jug lives by the skin of his teeth as he limps back to the well. Burning still gets the last hit on the tower, and now you see on the net worth, this Lycan pulling ahead by a big margin. Power treads, and Vladimir's offering now on the way. Chuan halfway to level 5, and Faith, he should have a similar amount. Yep, almost level 5 himself. Mid lane just been a farm fest, and Luo now level 6 with a soul ring complete. Morphling pretty much has the kit that he needs. Maybe he'll just continue farming if he keeps getting this kind of space. But this is the time when he can start moving around, and once he starts ganking, that's when IG will really turn up the heat. I think they do need the Ice Blast for it to be really easy, and they definitely need the Finger to start getting that snowball rolling. So maybe we'll be delayed until those supports do find 6. 430 with a double damage rune on his power treads. May try to have a go if somebody can rotate in. Down bottom. Luo and Jug, they'll square up. Waveform away. There is an Omni Slash available, so being mindful of how much damage the Jug can do, even through Morph. He is even on stats right now, but now he even picks up the Magic Stick for a little extra sustainability there. IG finally pulling into the lead, though, by about 1,200 gold experience, actually in favor of the Radiant side. This game's significantly more even than the last one, as this Storm Spirit is just not balling out of control. I think Ferrari didn't concede a single death last game, and here he's just 0-1 and 0. So just speaking to a slightly different tempo. Looks like Bloodstone will be his item of choice. Does pick up that Soul Ring. Burning and Chuan rendezvous in the jungle for a smoke. Could be the rotation towards the Roche Pit. He does have the Vladimir's up, and Medallion will be coming out shortly. Bottom lane, this tower going down. Luo with a stun onto SSS, looking for the deny on the tower, trying to time it right. Will Best the Venge? No, it's Dogfights that gets it, but he will bait him in to linger a bit longer. Ferrari punishes it and gets a kill. Another adaptive out on the Jug. He can't make the retreat that he wanted. They will chase him down, and Luo finds the kill with the Morphling. Nicely played by IG, and even though he doesn't get the deny, it's still a 2-for-0 trade, and they do kill the Jug. It's also the Venge that gets the last hit on the tower, so not the end of the world. Of course, much better than the Juggernaut getting the last hit himself. Now, with the rotation, IG look towards the Tier 1 tower bottom lane. There will be a glyph, but they've got Lycan Wolves. They'll clear out the creep wave, and this tower going to fall. A prime access point towards the Roche Pit and opening up some more possibilities here for Burning. Yang in the top lane, only level 5. No hook shot available yet. Sees Faith farming away and would love to set something up. He's trying to find his level 6 as well. Still not quite there.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Secret also rotating up. Faith could be in a little bit of trouble. Tier 1 tower goes down in the bottom lane. Just dies to the Dire. Back towards mid. 430. Oh, never mind. It's SSS that's actually on the run. He's got a Blade Fury on, and oh, it's Faith that gets ganked up top. Yang sets it up. And he will fall, so Secret gets credit for that one. Couple kill attempts coming out at once. Phoenix rotates mid. Ferrari does have some points in Vortex now. Others starting to wrap around. Burning just channels the ultimate in the tree line. They'll hit him with a stun, and, well, he may be elusive with that Icarus dive, but if you're stunned by the adaptive, it's not going to happen. Now Chuan wraps around onto Secret. He'll get hexed up as well. Finger has it, and Chuan gets another kill up on the scoreboard for the Dire side. A 2-for-0 in the mid, and IG will continue to find tower kills. Glyph comes out, but the Tier 1 will fall moments later. That makes it 6-4, and yet another net worth gain for the Dire side. All of a sudden, they're just erupting with a fury of momentum as Burning will move into a Necronomicon, Belt of Strength already up. Making a move towards the Roche Pit. Ward comes down from the Venge just in the nick of time right here. We'll see this rotation. Looks like it's just into the Ancients for now, but still a good time to start getting coverage on this side of the map. Luo showing us what the adaptive Morphling can do. Hook shot up top onto Faith. Will connect on a creep, and Yang will not find a successful ultimate. Instead, Rocket Flare towards the Roche Pit to make sure the Lycan's not in there. Definitely has the right idea. Jug now, the Mask of Madness on. coming online a little bit, at least can do a fair bit of damage. Still reasonably low level, though. You look at the hero levels, and that's where IG have really starting to take over. They were behind on that front for a while, but now they've got the lead by about 2K. 4,000 net worth also. Now they smoke up, they being IG. Could be a play at Roche, could also be a play into the Radiant Jungle. Will be the latter. Luo now moving into probably the Yule Scepter. Void Stone already picked up. Yames, oh, poor Yames. There you go, waveform adaptive. That's a long stun, and before the bird can even think about reacting, he goes from full to 0. Easy as that. Burning gets another one. Chuan with a fair amount of assists this game himself, 1-0-4. Ferrari, 2-1-2 now. He's recovered pretty well. Has actually surpassed the Shadow Fiend in farm, which he was behind for a while. Secret going for a slightly different item build here. Blink Dagger first. 1-1-1. Usually you'll see Shadow Fiends go for the Yules or the mech, some kind of farming tool. Something that you can fight with as well. Blink Dagger, really good when you're snowballing out of control, when you can just blink around, find pickoffs on supports and stragglers, but when you're kind of behind like this, the Blink Dagger doesn't really give you that much in the way of farming. Really, you'd prefer to have something that you can sit back and just play catch-up mode with. Use some stacks in the jungle, kill some Ancients, and the Blink Dagger just doesn't really provide that. Luo, he goes onto the Juggernaut. Ice Blast from short range will connect, and Jug, he'll be forced back. Roshan falls in the blink of an eye. Aegis of the Immortal will be picked up by 430. He's zipping around trying to find one, but Secret in the other side of the tree line. He will make it out. Close call. Ferrari had to guess one way or the other, and this time he does guess wrong. Still IG just pulling this map apart, finding so much more farm. And pickoffs here and there. Now a smoke from VG Gaming Potential. And we'll start moving around the jungle, but where are you going to find a kill? Uh-oh, Ferrari going in mid. He jumps onto Secret. This could just be a solo pickoff here. The team's starting to react. Low on mana. And 430. Ooh, is he going to live here? No, that's your Aegis of the Immortal. They'll also lose Chuan. Juggernaut using that Omni Slash. Yang has Cogs. Ferrari jumps to the low ground straight away. Now Luo comes in. Adaptive just onto Dogfight. Supernova from Yames. It's there. And the rest of IG will just back out. Now around the backside. Requiem does not do the damage that they were hoping for. It's a Death Requiem as Burning gets the kill on the Shadow Fiend. Now James will get stunned up by another Adaptive, and this is when the Morphling gets scary. On the retreat, he can just keep spamming out that 10-second cooldown. Chuan bought back for this. Has the finger, gets the kill on Clockwork, but could have a dieback here. He does. Dogfight makes it happen, but Ice Blast comes in, connects on 2. Luo diving the tower. No mana for Adaptive, and he will have to back out. It is indeed a dieback for Chuan. Probably hurts his bottom line a little bit, but only 15 minutes in. Perhaps worth it to get a kill with a finger. Now makes him 2-2-4. Just trying to get some distance, or just trying to close the gap between him and that Blink Dagger. 4-10. Another fight goes the way of IG. Ferrari with an interesting build again. He goes for the Soul Ring and now back into the Orchid. So he still wants to try to go for that more momentum-based item. He will get his second Oblivion Staff here and closing in on that Orchid recipe. Probably like a 17, 18-minute Orchid, depending on what he's able to farm in that window. Still a good timing, and I think within a threshold, if we can find some pickoffs here, the Phoenix and the Venge both still very squishy and definitely solo killable. I think even the Clockwork, not so tanky. Luo, all right, finds with an Adaptive. Making a lot of progress towards this Yules. Once the Yules comes out on Morphling, things get even easier. You can set up free Adaptives, and the thing that makes this stun so good is the lack of cast point. If you can get a Yules and a Blink Dagger, oh, forget about it. Forget about it. You're not dodging that shit. You can get a BKB and you think to yourself, oh, well, don't worry, I'll BKB, then he can't stun me, but you can't BKB react to it. So even with a magic immunity tool, it only keeps you safe during fights. You still can't really preemptively use it when a Morphling's going to initiate on you. Now SSS picks up the Shadow Blade here on the Juggernaut. Again, usually an item that you get when you're playing from ahead. And to be fair, for VG Gaming Potential, they're much more ahead at this stage of the game than they were in the last game. So I can see why they may be tempted for snowbally items. Shadow Fiend will now go into a BKB after the Blink Dagger that still just hasn't given him enough, I don't think. Shadow Blade, of a similar variety. You got to find kills with this thing. This is not a farming tool. This is not sit back and play this slightly more passive game where both teams are kind of split pushing around the map. You need to find solo kills. You're looking to find Omni/initiations and really bring out the pain. Here's your 17-minute Orchid from 430. While his team pressures the tier 2 tower in the bottom lane, it will yield a kill. The Howl making this push nice and easy. And we'll see who gets the last hit on the tower. Should be burning here. He will time it right. They trade a tier 1 for a tier 2. They lose their tier 1 up top, but I think IG will be crying all the way to the bank with a trade like that. Now Invisibility Rune up on Ferrari. Wants to show off this Orchid. Will bump into SSS, but he's got his Shadow Blade online. He's looking for a kill as well. Now the real question, can he find it? He goes in onto Faith. Omni/, takes no bounces into the creeps nearby. Burning. Channels the ulti. They want to punish this Jug. But can they do it? Yang is here. He has some power cogs. That pushes off Burning and makes a wall that he shall not pass. All right, here we go. Tier 2 in the mid lane will be under assault. Glyph comes out. VG Potential rolling the dice, hoping they won't need it for a high ground defense. Hook shot in onto Burning. Adaptive is there to follow up. Icarus dive through. Still not the ideal fight for VG Potential, I don't think. They'll lose their Phoenix and Clockwork. Requiem comes out, only gets a kill on Chuan. 1 for 2. IG still pretty healthy on their cores. There is an Aegis of the Immortal on someone. I think it's 430 still. Nope, he's burned it. Never mind. He burned it before. Sorry about that. But now Ice Blast connects onto Dogfights. The Adaptive sets it up. Waveform will connect. They set it up for 430. He'll finish off the Venge. Orchid onto the Shadow Fiend. Wants to kill on both. It looks like he'll find it. Double kill for 430. Now SSS on the run. Phoenix will dive through. They finish off the Storm Spirit. Mega kill down as Juggernaut also finds a double with a kill on the Morphling. Ends up being a decent fight for VG Potential. Buybacks used here? None. Just respawn timers, as it was a pretty extended fight. It ends up being a 4 for 4. And on the respawns, VG Potential get the better of it. 1,600 net worth is their gain with a net of about 1,200. That puts a little dent in this gold graph and showing us that IG not unstoppable at this stage of the game. A Jug with this kind of farm and a Shadow Blade is something you need to be wary of. He now gets a Yasha to come out. Burning channels an ulti. Ice Blast from the base. Necro units summoned. They want some kills here. Jug on the run. Burning will try to chase him down, but can he actually find the kills? Attacks going to become an issue here. Swap back. Burning overcommits and goes down. He doesn't end up finding a kill on the Phoenix, but it's a dominating streak going the way of the Jug. Those aren't the kind of kills you want to hand over. And yet another net worth gain for VG Potential as IG get a little bit sloppy with it. A bit surprising here. These KDAs not looking as strong as they once were, and we're starting to see some item progression on the Radiant side. Shadow Fiend closing on into that BKB with a Mithril Hammer in tow. Hand of Midas, still not there on the Phoenix, but on the way. There is also a Hand of Midas on the Ancient Apparition, mind you. That is a big pickup for IG, per usual. And Faith will just start moving into that Aghanim Scepter. All right. VG Potential hanging in there. Whoa, down bottom. Luo trying to get aggressive onto Secret, but will jump to his Replicant on the other side of the map. 430 now moving into his Bloodstone. He's got the point booster with that Soul Ring already in tow. And Yang on the Clockwork going for his Blade Mail. Seems to be the common item pickup on Clockwork these days. Great valuable stats at a reasonable price. And a use that actually makes you a little bit scary. IG, though, still not super concerned. Burning going from super mega extreme farmed to, oh, I'm just pretty farmed. About 400 up on the Juggernaut here. We'll see what the Roche timer looks like. But Dire will definitely have control of the Roche pit with Medallion, Necro, Vlad's. Burning can just solo it down so fast. Now a Blink Dagger on Chuan, another big item pickup here for IG. Now they've got Blink Hex Initiation, and they want to put it to good use here. Scouting with the Wolves, they see Yang. He gets caught by an Adaptive Strike, Orchid from Ferrari, and this will be a kill. Soulburn's there to finish him off. Now Chuan into an awkward position. The egg comes out. Chuan goes down before he can finger. It ends up being a 1 for 1, and again, not the clean kill that IG wanted. Getting a little bit sloppy here. Perhaps not expecting all of VG potential to come in and make a defense. Now Burning again getting aggressive, gets stunned up by dogfights, but Adaptive is there. He throws out a stun and gets stunned in return. Makes it a 1 for 2 in the mid. And does favor things for IG a little more. This tier 2 tower now may end up falling. The glyph still hasn't cooled down, and Burning does still have quite the long duration on his necro units. They'll wait for the creep wave. Some TP's in. Potential don't want to hand it over without a fight. Yang's here in the front lines, hit by an Adaptive straight away. Jug, they've got some detection. He'll Blade Fury off the Orchid. And Secret will channel a Requiem. Now IG on the back foot. Hookshot will be off the mark, but Burning falling fast. He goes down. Monster kill streak now for the Jug. Finds quite a few kills with that Omni Slash, and now Luo on the run. It's IG on the back foot all of a sudden, not respecting the Juggernaut, who's now taken over as the leading farmer in this game. Luo will survive for now, and the rest of IG make it to their high ground. Roche, with a short timer, has respawned. It's been scouted out by an illusion from 430. Potential still not privy to it, but they get the tier 1 tower mid, and that will further limit access points to the Roche pit for the Dire side. Hex now out on to Juggernaut, getting a little too fancy with that Shadow Blade. They'll bring him down, and 430 barely lives. Now Yang on the back foot. Could potentially shatter here, and an Adaptive strike out onto James. They get the Clockwork, now they'll get the Phoenix as well. Can he get reborn? The answer is no. Sent to the grave, and now IG may have secured themselves Roshan. A back and forth slugfest of a fight in the mid lane, but it will be Invictus Gaming that comes out the victors and get the final punishment as Chuan responds and gives them the sausage of a finger. They will rotate up top, and looks like they just want to punish Secret, and he's in deep. Oh, he's used his BKB as well, still on cooldown. He blinks back, and he'll be okay. Ooh, that could have been a big window of opportunity. Faith hanging out around the Roche pit, Chuan rotating down. I think they'll have a go here. Burning coming as well with his BKB, not that far off. 2,100 gold on him. Okay, things looking a lot better for IG. A much closer game than game number 1. Still not an insurmountable lead, but they're getting there. Now the Bloodstone's up on 430, and second Roche goes down. Aegis of the Immortal goes to the Storm Spirit. Rocket Flare did scout things out, but VG Potential will just retreat back to their side. Are they going to smoke here? They will. Gem now up on the Vengeful Spirit. Is there a gem on the Dire? I reckon there is. Yep, Chuan's got it. Wasn't sure where it got passed around after that last fight in Series of Death, but there's one on each side, and oh, Faith, he's in a pretty forward position here, still trying to farm progress towards that Aghanim Scepter. Hookshot will connect, but Burning's nearby. Burning does not have the Aegis here. He channels the ulti, but the dog gets put in the cage. A quick 2-for-0, and the smoke from VG Potential will yield them a nice little exchange. Okay. IG not necessarily on the back foot, but pickoffs like that will stop them from being able to push towards the base. And now we'll see what Potential can do. They'll rotate into the jungle. That is big. This Juggernaut hits hard. You saw how much damage he did to Burning there. Manta style, now completed. Luo needs to be a little careful here. Blink, Adaptive out onto SSS. Chuan's there to follow up, but Luo perhaps in some trouble. Swap back, will jump to a Replicate. Now 430 comes zooping on in. Can he actually find some kills, though? All 5 of Potential still alive. Phoenix Egg not doing a hell of a lot. No stuns will come out, won't connect on anyone. Maybe a little premature there. You got to hold your load a little longer than that. Yames, come on. Chuan hops in, Impale, right onto Yang. Can they force a shatter here? They can. It's a dead Clockwork. 430 will get credit for that one. And IG will defend their tower. The back and forth topsy-turvy game continues. It's not done yet. Luo follows up. Requiem channeled by Secret off to the side. Almost sets up the kill on Luo. Will Yules himself. Lasers there to try to bring him down, but Morphing Strength still sets up the finger from Chuan, a dead bird. Dogfights on the run. Now caught by the Vortex as Ferrari hops forward. Put and pop. Swap back. Is it enough to live? No, it's not. Earth Spike's there, and Chuan gets another one. That's the gem on the deck, and they'll take it. I think Chuan, did somebody get the gem? Who snagged it? Oh, that sneaky little bastard. It's back in the base. Nicely done. Burning, meanwhile, on the top. He finishes off the Shadow Fiend. So Radiant don't lose their gem, but they lose their heroes. They're dropping like flies around the map. 1,600 gain for IG, 1,100 loss for Polar. And now we'll see the Dire team really start to pull into the lead. Still an Aegis of the Immortal on the Storm Spirit, and now 14, I'm blind, 11 Bloodstone charges, and 2 minutes on the Aegis. Last outer tower for VG Potential goes on down. It will go the last hit of Burning. He still has his 10-second BKB, another 1,400 gold. And they get an Observer Ward down deep in enemy territory. 2, actually, again in these atypical spots. Okay. Well, there you go. Talking about getting work done with an Aegis of the Immortal. What's the play here for VG Potential? It seems like their smoke ganks have worked pretty well. Their Juggernaut's still farming pretty nicely. It's everyone else on this Radiant team that's fallen behind, the Juggernaut and the Phoenix in particular. Why do I say Juggernaut? The Vengeful Spirit and the Phoenix in particular. Eesh. Urn of Shadows, Tranquil Boots, Midas, and just a Chainmail for now. I mean, this Phoenix has nothing. They're trying to de-ward. They'll get 1. This one stays standing for now. A shame for IG they couldn't recover that gem. That was a pretty nice play from the Jug. Get it back. But speak of the Jug, Adaptive Strike in the mid lane. Is there any kind of follow-up here? Maybe an Ice Blast, but that's it. See what Morphling goes for next. Another 1,000 gold up on him. They find Jug. Oh, SSS, greedy in the Ancients. Hit by an Adaptive. The finger is there. He'll Manta, but it doesn't matter. He's dead. Now the rest of the fight continues. Rattle Trap put inside of the Yule's Scepter. Now hit by an Adaptive Strike. He's dead. It's as easy as that. Oh my. These Adaptive Strikes just setting up kill after kill. Secret trying to split push in the top lane. Tier 2 tower taking some damage, but he'll blink back. They're starting to rotate on him, and he will just probably want to head towards home before too long here. IG, they've had enough mucking around. They want to push up the mid lane. But no, they don't. Okay, thought they may try and have a play at the base, but they'll play it safe for now. And just go back to farming. Again, IG in this very comfortable position, as we've seen in games prior, where they have a huge gold lead. They've got map control, and, well, they've got plenty of carry potential. They're fine to go late game here. Even if Jug keeps farming, they know Burning can farm faster, and you've got this Storm Spirit who's getting bigger and bigger. Not to mention the Morphling that started off as that utility off lane, Strength Core, can start to rotate into kind of a core Morphling. The longer this game goes on, the more Luo can do in terms of damage output. Something like a Shotgun, not really the best game for it. Does synergize well with your Finger of Death there, so even though Morphling doesn't have huge stats for the big adaptive damage, it can buff up the finger enough to really make it worth it. Here we go, initiation onto the Shadow Fiend. He's got a BKB, but when you're stunned for 4 seconds, it doesn't bloody matter. Beautiful swap, not enough either. They get the clockwork as well. It's a quick twofer for IG. Now BKB Burning, diving the base here. Buyback from the Shadow Fiend. There's your Omni Slash to try to buy some time, but Luo will Yules himself. Secret gets off the Requiem. A lot of low health heroes on the side of IG. The Egg doing some big damage. They could get punished hard. They'll lose Lycan and Ancient Apparition. Nice stun from Chuan, but he still falls. 3 from IG down, and it seems this buyback from Secret more than worth it. My, what a fight indeed. IG starting off strong, but VG Potential strike back to make it a gain for them. A 3 for 2 overall, and they get about 1,400 net worth out of it. Again, making a dent in this gold graph, showing a sign of life, but Ferrari and Luo, it's a fake back. They want more. Now the zip in. He's got a Shiva's Guard. Sets up on 2. Dogfights goes down first. James, the victim of the Orchid, will be isolated by the Yules. Ferrari, now low on mana, just trying to make his escape. Icarus dive across. Luo with an adaptive onto Secret. Will make the space Ferrari needs to be fine. And it looks like they will make it out. A very aggressive play, but it does yield yet another kill for the Dire side. And, well, maybe levels things out just a little bit more after that kind of awkward fight from IG. I guess technically making it a 3 for 3, but the net worth gain is still there for VG Potential. Now a BKB comes out for the Juggernaut. Okay. Radiant side still holding onto their base. I think for IG, it's definitely about waiting out Roche here. Just less than a minute until we see how long we'll have to wait before Aegis and Cheese become an option, but that will be the safe play and certainly what they're going to do. respecting the damage output of this Radiant side, the Juggernaut's still a madman. Needs to start looking towards big-ticket items, though. He's got a lot of these lower-value items, Shadow Blade, Mask of Madness, BKB, Aquila. Needs to start looking towards an maybe an Abyssal Blade, start with the Basher. Butterfly could be an option here. MKB, probably not going to be a necessity, but wants to start looking towards definitely securing that late game. Looks like Secret here, going into his Manta style. Smart choice against the Orchid, per usual. But damage will start to become the bottleneck for VG potential, as we talked about, with Shadow Fiend going a slightly more not passive build, but less damage-focused build. Jug not going to take heed to the advice, though. Instead, he goes Blink Dagger. Blink Dagger, BKB, the items of choice here for the big cores on potential. Big item pickup for IG, though. It's Faith's Aghanim Scepter. 32 minutes in. Old Frosty going to be lobbing the big snowballs. Ice Blast. Really hurts now, and Shatter becomes a pretty serious threat. Mid lane, here we go. Luo in the front lines, has a replicate down, and we'll start to pull it away. Just trying to spread VG potential for now. Adaptive will actually connect onto the Juggernaut, and that'll open up for a long-range zip. Swap back will keep him safe, but Ice Blast will connect on quite a few. Omni Slash will bounce around, but 2 fall. Clockwork and Venge already in the grave. Now Jug. BKB trying to chase down Ferrari, but he's got a haste rune. Oh my. The timing on that couldn't have worked out better. Phoenix Supernova will go off, stops burning dead in his tracks, but now the Wolf will chase him down. Icarus dive, back off cooldown, brings him back to the base. Meanwhile, on the other side, Adaptive connects on the Juggernaut. He was making the great escape, but he goes down. A godlike streak now for Ferrari. 14-2-9, having a great game on this Storm Spirit with 19 Bloodstone charges. Luo in the base, just zoning him out, and another disastrous team fight here as IG find the initiation. The upgraded Ice Blast makes its debut to find 2 shatters and do a lot of damage. Now VG potential need to hold their base. Their glyph is used straight away. Not a lot available in the way of buybacks. Actually, no buybacks available here. It is a 5v4 as they initiate in onto Burning. Requiem from Secret. After the cog hook shot from Yang, Burning will fall. But now Luo in deep, Ferrari as well. Can they find the series of kills they're looking for? Down goes the clock, the Venge, James, now the Secret. He's going to fall as well. That was an awkward noise, but I thought he might make it away, and it was the cold feet. That's what threw me off. I was like, oh, his feet are cold, and I was trying to make a joke and tied my tongue in a knot. It doesn't matter. IG, they take the fight. The Tier 3 tower in the top may stay standing, but another disastrous trade, and without any buybacks here, the base should be theirs for the claiming. At least a Tier 3 tower in lane of barracks. No outer towers standing. I don't see any reason why IG don't stick around and continue to pressure the structures. Well, it looks like the reason is they're all low health, and they're afraid of this Jug who's just respawned with a Blink Dagger. So there you go. That's the reason I should have thought of before I opened my big fat mouth. IG one step closer to taking this game, though. Now the lead, getting closer to that insurmountable mark, about 20K net worth, and nearly 20K experience in their favor. So the Jug did sell the Shadow. Oh my god, he actually did sell his Shadow Blade. Picked up the Blink Dagger. I saw he picked up the Blink, but, oh yeah, there you go. Got dumped. Uh-oh. We're going to go into PowerPoint Dota. All right, well, I think a fight's about to break out, but we have no choice but to reconnect here, folks. Sorry about that. Bad luck, bad luck. Oh, man. Well, we missed another team fight. Okay, sorry about that, guys, but completely out of our control as the servers pooped out for us American viewers here. Looks like IG took another team fight and completely wiped them up. Let's go ahead and open up our net worth tab. Buybacks, yep, not looking so hot. Too bad we don't get the recap here to see what happened, but they still have a lot of ultimates off cooldown. Oh, Adaptive onto the Jug. Ice Blast, finger the whole kit and caboodle to bring him down. BKB by Secret used. He panics. Now he's wishing he still had it, but he will blink back, and he makes it to the well. Okay, he's safe. Looks like VG potential. They're coming back to life now.
Radiant's middle tower, Roshan has fallen to the Dire.
All right. Roshan respawns, and that's Rosh 3. So Aegis and Cheese comes out. Burning doesn't take either. He just leaves them. He's like, I've got some presents. Ferrari. Here you go. So Ferrari, he'll probably take the Aegis. He's now picked up a full Scythe of Vice, and I think they'll leave the Cheese for Luo, perhaps. They'll just leave the Cheese for... Yep, they'll give it to Luo. There you go. As he sips up the bottle. So Faith, now he'll probably have a Force Staff on the way, and Chuan, it's just all mobility. Blink, Force Staff, Ghost Scepter, there's just nothing this Jug can do. And we're at that point where it feels like for VG potential, what can they do here? This one might be lost. Now Yang Hexed, also hit by an adaptive. Double crowd controls. It stings that much more. The godlike streak continues for Ferrari. The long range zip into the base. The finger for good measure. Chuan jams it in there and finds another kill. Secret uses his BKB to walk back to the well. This baby almost down to 5 seconds, and it'll be on cooldown for another minute. IG with a 5v3 on the field, getting closer and closer to breaching the high ground. They need some creeps to get up there to break the backdoor protection. They'll have lane control in the mid and the bottom. Here we go, rotating towards the mid, adaptive onto Secret, surprise, surprise. The Jug joins the party though, brings down Luo, gives him the chop chop, the slap chop if you will. Buyback from the Morphling, now a buyback from the Phoenix. They're going to continue to dive, finds the kill on the bench. Remember, Ferrari has an Aegis here. He can afford to be a little aggressive if it means making space for taking structures, which is exactly what Burning is doing in the bottom lane. That's one lane of barracks down. Ferrari respawns with full health, full mana. It is still a 5v4 on the field. Now that some buybacks have been used, it is just the Venge stuck in the grave. No glyph. It is coming up soon, though. 30 seconds, soon enough that it could be relevant. Tier 3 tower, mid goes down, mid lane of barracks falling quickly as well. Now Luo, adaptive onto Secret. The follow-up damage not quite there. Jug starts to give him the chop, and he will waveform Fourth Staff away. Ferrari going back in, Hex onto James, he'll chase him down there. Secret with a Requiem, gets a kill on Burning with the help of Jug. Ferrari still struggling to finish off James, and that'll force out the Supernova. James lives, but at the cost of his ultimate. Still not too bad for VG potential. I feel a little silly saying that. They lost a lane and a half of barracks, but they killed Burning. I mean, we're trying to find positives here. Their base, though, it's in shambles. They don't even have a tier 3 tower in the top lane. They lost it in that last push, so they are now in the deep doo-doo. Now Luo goes back in, adaptive on dogfights, dances on his stunned body, and then waveforms away. That is the biggest taunt, I'm just clowning on you, I've ever seen. Look at this. Here we go. He sets it up again. Dogfight steps out. The snowball comes hurling in. It's another kill for Faith. Now James in trouble. Ferrari continuing on. He'll keep on keeping on. Can he find this kill? No. Out of mana. The Juggernaut, though, dies off to the side. Instead, he'll say, oh, Secret's here. Let's see what we can do. But his attack speed will be slowed down. The damn bird, Ferrari, he had the cheese. He'll eat it. Gets the kill on the Shadow Fiend. 19-2 and 15. That's the shot caller I chose for this draft. Oh, yeah, baby. We're in the money. That's going to be a dead clockwork, and with no buybacks available, the GG is finally called. Invictus Gaming 2-0 over Vici Gaming Potential. It was the 2-0 that many bettors out there suspected. 91 to 9% odds in this series, but they put up one hell of a fight and showed that they did deserve to make it out of the first phase of the Summit 3 China. Woo! What a chaotic game that was. Very back and forth. Hopefully nobody had Yang in their fantasy pool. 0, 15, and 9. Ouch! That really hurts. But what a game indeed. A fun series, very action-packed, and a little back and forth, showing that IG aren't completely untouchable. They can be there for the taking, and we'll see. It'll be interesting to see how Vici Gaming Potential trek through the lower bracket. We'll take a look at the bracket right here for good measure. We saw earlier today Newbie versus HGT. HGT taking it 2-1 to be now be facing LGD in the semifinals, and it will be IG versus eHome in the other set of semifinals. We'll get this updated momentarily here. Then Tongfu versus Vici Gaming Potential will be the first, or the second rather, elimination matchup in the lower bracket. So that's it for us today, folks. Thank you for joining me. Have a happy Easter. I'm solo casting today. It was hard to find a I'm the solo caster. It was hard to find a co-caster to join me for Easter morning. I know that's tricky in most parts of the world. It's 8 a.m. here on the Pacific Coast, so I will have Cinderin joining me tomorrow. Should be another good day of Dota, so please come back, join us, same place, same time, for the Summit 3 by Gigabyte China Phase 2, as things are just heating up here. If you enjoyed the cast, give me a follow on Twitter at Zyori TV, and make sure you follow at Beyond the Summit as well to stay up to date with all things happening here in the Summit 3. Until next time, folks, we're done. Take care. We'll see you later.
I was actually one of the first people to sign up on Vulcan.